Okay, here goes. This is video number five, five. The fifth video. Um, when I was at my heaviest, I would see what should I do? What should I do? How should I lose this weight? When I went into the hospital and came out of the hospital, see, I still got that turkey neck. You don't really see it when you're on this video thing. Um, a turkey neck. I got to get some turkey neck exercises because it's almost well, it's Halloween's next, and comes Thanksgiving, so I got to be careful. But anyway, and I'm not shaved because I'm going to film an audition video today for a role in I think it's a movie, it might be a TV show as a news vendor. I played a news vendor on Out of Practice. I was a news vendor for the entire season, and they had me be scruffy with a beanie hat and clothes and layers, and it's hot outside, so I'll probably lose weight from that. But when you first start with this, when I first started with this, because once again, this is my journey. Um, when I decided, okay, stop thinking about losing weight, stop thinking about getting healthy, get healthy. I got to do it. Now it's time. I've got to get this done. So you will hear that the plan is probably worldwide is to lose your weight by exercising more and eating less. And the problem is that did not work for me. You know, I had to turn it really bad. I'll tape it up. But anyway, or a shirt like this. But anyway, what I did was look into what everybody else is doing, and everybody else is saying that um, you gotta exercise more and eat less. The problem is when you're so heavy, you really can't exercise. At least I couldn't. They didn't want me to get out there and exercise because I may have a heart attack or I may die from it. So trying to do something healthy might have actually cost me my life. So when I first started, the kind of exercise they wanted me to do was, maybe be at home and kind of move my arms around, sitting in a chair and all that. Well, I knew that wasn't going to be enough, but I also knew that when you hear all this stuff on television about people who lost a lot of weight, they say, well, I went out running. Well, did you run the first day? Did you run the second day? Did you run the third day? Or did you work up to be able to run? Um, and that's a big, big difference on what you can do, what your body needs to do to lose the weight, and what you can do to the fact that you are so overweight. When I was that much overweight, I could not go run. I could not jog. Um, I couldn't really ride a bike. They wanted me to do exercise like maybe walk around the block. Um, maybe move, like at first just kind of they call it move. It's I don't know if it's just in the military, but we have a program called move, and they sent me to one of the meetings, and what they would do is they would take a can of peas and a can of corn or whatever in your hands, and you'd move your arms around like this or whatever, make windmills with the arms. I needed to do a little bit more than that. I think one thing is I was talking to the lady who ran the movie. She said, well, most of the veterans never really do anything more than the most minimum thing they could possibly do. They give a lot of meds, and then they keep them alive, and then they do minimal exercise. Well, that's not really where I want to be. I don't want to be a fat guy that's a little bit healthier. I want to be a guy that wasn't fat, or lost a lot of weight and was healthier because I knew that that weight was really bad. Um, so for me, I went to the hospital, like I said in earlier videos. This is video number five. So there's four other videos. Other videos we discussed things like the motivation to get going. That's the most important thing for me, at least. It probably is for you. The motivation to keep going, to get up there and get going, and do something. It's not necessarily what you do; it's the motivation to do something. As long as it's a healthy additive to your life, an addition to your life, you need to talk to your doctor, your pharmacist, the physical therapy, nutritionist, whatever it is, whoever you need to talk to somebody before you start doing any of this stuff because it could be dangerous. So I knew I needed to do something, and I knew it was going to have to be drastic, but it wasn't going to have to be something I did immediately. A lot of people think, well, it's drastic. I need to do something drastic. Well, yes, I need to do something drastic. I need to do something drastic to change my life around. I needed to do something about that. So what I decided to do was to figure it out. I had to figure this out. Okay, so in earlier videos we talked about motivation. We talked about exercise. Motivation. We gave a little brief overview of the whole thing. What happened? I was hospitalized for 9 days. 9 days is a long time to be in the hospital when you got pets. I'm a pet rescue volunteer. I do acting, so it was a really tough time. It was right before Christmas. Um, So it was a tough time to be in the hospital. I was there for 9 days. Then I got out of the hospital and I had to do home care 6 weeks. 6 weeks, 4 IVs a day in my arm, and it was touch and go there whether or not I was going to be able to save my leg um, from this infection. So anyway, the first video is basically an overview of what I did. Of what my condition, kind of described my condition, and then how the series was going to work. The second one was basically on motivation. Then I did one um, on diet, a little bit on diet. I touched on diet, and then supplements I take, and then supplements I take for neuropathy. If you do have neuropathy, please check out video number four. Video number four, which is on neuropathy, and I came up with a program that was approved by my doctor, and I no longer have neuropathy. So for those of you that are diabetic, I think it's mostly diabetics, coffee with a little bit of half and half. For those of you that have diabetes, you may have experienced neuropathy. I didn't even know what it was before. I knew what diabetes was because I'd see the commercials on TV, but I didn't know what neuropathy was. And the way they treat it, they give you medication for that, some kind of pharmaceutical. I didn't want to take that. I figured out what to do. So that's video number four. If you do experience neuropathy, check out number four. Everybody I've told about that, they claim that they talked to their doctor. The doctor said it was okay to take it. I don't know if they did, but it's a vitamin regimen, and it stopped my neuropathy pain. I have no more neuropathy pain. I was getting it every day, probably. I would just know if it woke me up, because usually I got it at night. If it woke me up, I had neuropathy. So that's how I knew. Then I started this program, and now I don't wake up with neuropathy. And I lost a lot of weight, and my diabetes is better, so I don't have to wake up every night to go to the bathroom. So as long as sometimes I sleep straight through the night. Sometimes I'll get up one time. I used to get up two, three, maybe four times a night, and then it's hard to sleep like that. So a lot of these conditions, it's not necessarily the condition that's causing you the problem. It's the stuff that goes along with it. So you're a diabetic, you have to go pee, then you get less sleep, and then blah blah. It kind of it's a chain or whatever. Um, so that's what happened. So this video series is going from the time I got out of the hospital, the second time. The first time I almost died, that's when I had cellulitis and it almost killed me. And well, I guess I almost killed myself because it's my fault. The second time I was in there with a bone infection in my big toe, which is called your grand toe, and it's bad. It's bad. I almost lost my leg because I got a little teeny blister, a little teeny cut, a little blister on my toe. My cat was outside. There was a bird on the patio. She was making a move for the bird on the patio. I made a move for the cat. I stepped on a little teeny rock. We do that all the time, especially as children. Then we grow up, and I almost lost my leg because of that. So this is exercise. And you're going to hear this all the time: exercise, 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 eat less, eat less, eat less. So for me, I knew that's important. I knew exercise was going to be important, but what was I going to do? The most important exercise, they always say, is to walk. Walk, get up and walk, 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 walk. You can then ride a bike or whatever, and I do. I ride bicycles. I joined the YMCA, and I was able to do like the elliptical machine. I know it's kind of probably old news now, and I would do the stationary bike. But you don't want to do exercise where you're sitting down. I'm sorry, I didn't want to do exercise where I sat down, because I figured if I'm standing up, my body's going to use its weight in the exercise. So if I'm sitting, then it's a lot less weight. You sit down, boom, and man, I'm a little tired. That feels great. But that weight is there, so I might as well use that actual weight of my body to exercise. Made sense. So I wasn't able to go out and run a marathon. I couldn't go run a 5K, a 3K. I couldn't run a mile. I couldn't jog. I couldn't do any of that kind of stuff. I had to go very, very slow. But everyone says that the most important exercise that we need to do, or we need to be mobile, is to walk, 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 walk. It's very, very important. But when you become a diabetic or a heavy person or whatever you may have, a lot of times they're going to offer you a handicap placard. They tell me that walking is number one, but here's a handicap placard so you don't have to walk. You can park right against that store. You don't have to walk. I said, no, thank you. If I need it, I'll accept it. And that's how I thought about this entire program. If I need something, if this is life threatening, take the pill. If I'm going to lose my legs or my kidneys, take a pill. If I'm going to go blind, take a pill. Whatever they're going to make me do, whatever I need to do to save those things, I would do. But if there's an alternative that's maybe a little safer for me, I want to do that. So I could just shoot more and more and more insulin. I shoot my leg, but it's annoying here. I'm not shooting my stomach. I used to shoot my leg. I had to shoot so much. I had holes all over my body. But they can increase your insulin, 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 give you metformin, whatever, if you're diabetic, to the point where your numbers are good. I'm getting great numbers. I must be healthy. No, 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 no. I'm putting a lot of insulin in my body and I'm very unhealthy. So I want to do it the opposite. I wanted to make it so I don't need those things and have good numbers, not have good numbers because of those things. So walking is it. Walking's it. That's it. And this is what I do for exercise. Okay, they said for me, and I discussed this in an earlier video, earlier going that way, future videos go that way, I guess. This is video number 5 once again. Well, what I did was I decided that I was going to walk a lot, and they said, well, David, walk about 3 times a week, get 5,000 steps a day. And I said, that doesn't sound like enough. So I started with that. I did that, and then you get extra steps. So I decided to get 10,000 steps 7 days a week. So that's 10,000 steps a day. Some days I do slack off and maybe only get 9,200 steps. That happens sometimes. And like I said in the earlier video too, that way, don't be discouraged. If that happens to you, if one day you don't feel like walking, you can't motivate yourself, you just can't motivate. You say, well, at least I'm going to walk a little bit. So you get out, you walk 4 blocks and come back. Okay, 10,000 steps for me is about from when I leave my house, I walk 2.5 miles, turn around, walk 2.5 miles back, and I get about 10,000 steps. The steps I want to count are my actual walking for exercise steps, and that sounds really weird. There's a way to turn on and off a lot of these. I think Apple Watch has one where you can turn this on, turn this off. I'm not that organized. Like I said before, I'm not organized enough, to be this sick. You have to be really smart, which I'm not, and you have to be really organized, which I'm definitely not. You got to take medicine before food. You got to take medicine. I had to take medicine before I eat, with my food, before I eat, with my food, then with food one more time. I had to take shots at certain times. I'm not that organized, so I knew I had to do something. So you can turn on, turn off an app for the steps, I guess. I don't have that option. I have a Fitbit 4, Charge 4. So I know there's a new generation, maybe 2 new generations now. I'd like to get a new one. Hey, Fitbit, tap, 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 tap. If you're listening, tap, 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 tap. Hey, Fitbit, I'd like to get another watch where you can send me one and sponsor this channel. I'll write you and ask you. I'm going to write you. So anyway, I don't even know how to get a sponsor. I don't know how to do any of this stuff. I have a manager now for this channel, and he's helping me, but I don't know anything about this. I was asked to do this because people were in need, and they wanted me to help them. And like I said, I cannot and I will not tell you what to do. I can only tell you what I did. And some things work, some things didn't. So walking 10,000 steps a day is my goal, 10,000 actual steps. So in order to do that, instead of deducting this, I try to, when I go to bed, to have about 12,000 steps. 12,000 steps. So that's going to be 10,000 steps. I think it's about a 5-mile walk. And if I have an extra 2,000, that's going to be things like I got up to take up some medicine. If my Fitbit, it comes on a band on your arm. My band broke, so now I keep it in my pocket. So that's a little bit easier for me, so I don't get those accidental, unnecessary or unplanned steps. So if I get up to go to the bathroom and I walk from here to the bathroom and back, those steps will count if it's on my wrist. I know that the Fitbit can go in the swimming pool. I never have done that yet. Maybe I will get one and do that. I hate this thing. But anyway, I did wash my Fitbit, and when my Fitbit was washed, 900 steps. If you want to know how many steps you're going to get in a cycle. So if you put your Fitbit in your pocket and you put your pants in the washing machine, it's about 900 steps. So I don't want to count those steps. So I would try to go to bed at 12,000 steps. That's my goal. 11,000, 12,000, 13,000. There's been times I've gotten 21,000. I've got as many as 30,000 steps. That would be things that go to like the Los Angeles County Fair. You don't see a lot of agriculture in LA County out here, but we do have a very large county fair. And I went there with a friend of mine. We walked about 30,000 steps. Went to Knott's Berry Farm. As a veteran, they were giving us a free day at Knott's Berry Farm, and we would take advantage of that and walk a lot. We get there from the time they opened to the time they closed. We didn't park in the parking lot because we're cheap, so we parked about 3/4 of miles away. So then we'd walk to there and back. We also do that at the county fair, LA County and Orange County Fair. We don't park at the parking lot because it's expensive. It's a lot of fun. I'm glad they give us a freebie, but I can't afford that. Well, I could afford that. We can always afford things. Why do that when I can get some exercise? So my goal is to get about 12,000 steps. And ways I do that, and things steps I do include. The first thing I do is I hydrate. I drink a lot of water. Like right now, I'm drinking coffee right now with a little bit of half and half. I can drink it black, no sugar ever, and no artificial stuff. I never ever use any artificial sweeteners, even I don't know, even if they call them natural. I don't need that in my body. I don't drink any diet drinks or anything. I drink iced tea with just plain iced tea, no raspberry flavoring. It's a really gross thing. If you look about how they make artificial raspberry, you're gonna be grossed out. I don't need those calories. I don't need that artificial sweeteners in my body. So I don't do that. So it's water, iced tea. So I have a big blue bottle. I should have brought it in here. I'm gonna do a second video. Sorry, video number 6. I'm actually gonna go out and show the trail and some of the things I do on the trail to get exercise. So what I would do is I hydrate up, and I don't hydrate like drink a whole bunch and then go, or take water with me and go. I drink a few glasses of water when I take my medicine, take a few more glasses of water when I take my medicine, then I drink a little bit of water, wait about 30 minutes, then I go, and then I hydrate again while walking. There's drinking fountains on the trail that I go to, so if I don't have my bottle, I don't decide to not exercise. So it's a lot of things we used to do when we were kids. It'd be like, hey, can Johnny come out and play? And we go out and play. We didn't have to prepare for things. We didn't have to put on our helmet for our bicycle or our elbow pads or our knee pads. We didn't have to set a time to exercise. We didn't have to say, okay, I'm going to go to the gym at 9 o'clock in the morning and I'm going to do, we didn't have to make a schedule. We just play, do whatever. It's recess time. Okay, that means it's time to play. So I decided to treat this kind of like recess, a chance to do things around my schedule that I can work in. Stay up there, turn your neck. The things that I can work in that would be good for me. So I have a dog. That's good. And walking dogs is great. Sometimes I can't get my dog on a leash and walk because I'm not at home, but I can still walk and get some exercise. I can jog. I don't like to play dog. One, it's kind of boring. When I walk, I can see things. Like there'll be a woodpecker. A lot of times I'll see a woodpecker. I'll see deer. Also on the trail right here in Monrovia, California, right next to where I live. I mean, I walk to the trail. That's how close it is to my house. We have bear. I've seen bear out there. That's scary. Mostly I'm scared of those mountain lions. Ooh, yeah, they're bad. They'll mess you up. So I hydrate up. Hydrate. Then I walk the trail. If I can't walk the trail, there's times I decide not to walk the trail, and I'll walk around the block. The block that I live on is basically about 2 blocks together. That's how big it is. I think there used to be another street, and then it's no longer there. So I can walk out, go all the way around, and come back. I do that a couple times to get those steps, and I'm checking it with my Fitbit, walking the dog, or whatever. I used to want to go down, like if there's an ATM near my house, and oftentimes I go take my ATM. I'd walk down to the ATM. It's 2 blocks away. So I can go to the ATM, unless I'm carrying back cash, which is rare. I would go do that. There's a place I can get a small item. Like if I want to go to Starbucks, there's a Starbucks right there. I can go get coffee, not endorsing Starbucks, I do like that lemon cake, so I have to be very careful. That lemon cake is delicious. One of the best pound lemon cake I've ever had, and that's a great treat for me to get once in a while. Because I don't give myself a treat day or a cheat day or any of that kind of thing. But every now and then you're gonna want something. I know I did. I think you will too. So I hydrate up and then I go. So short distances I would walk it. Because why not? Why not walk it? So I'm trying to get my 10,000 steps in. And anytime I don't get 10,000 steps, I say they stole my 10,000 steps, because people want you to do things that work instead of to get your steps. My focus is going weird on here, but they want you to work instead of getting steps. So I try to do steps at work. So there will be times where I would get up and I would just go and take a quick walk to get 10,000 steps. But ways that I found to get around things is like I'm using the computer. So for every time I use the computer, every 20 minutes, I don't use a timer for that. I just look at the computer. Like right now it's 12:06. So at 12:26, I would stand up, and then I'd set my timer on my watch, on my cell phone. And my cell phone's kind of old. It was great. Isn't it great when you get a brand new cell phone? It's the best cell phone now. It's like barely works. But anyway, I have a Samsung, and I would set that for 2 minutes. I set the timer for 2 minutes, and I can see my Fitbit on here, my Fitbit reading. I would have the Fitbit in my pocket at this point, or I would just, I can use this and but what I would do is kind of either walking place or jogging place. Usually I was just kind of jogging place, to stop, lifting my foot up about 6 to 8 inches off the ground. And I do that for 2 minutes. So every 20 minutes, for 2 minutes, after that 2 minutes, I would do this exercise. So there's been times when I've been stuck on the computer, like you're doing your taxes. That's really rough. It's fun. You turn around, try to find your W-2, and oh, where's that receipt? And I would just still try to get that in there. So in an hour, you're doing that about 3 times, or whatever. You can, maybe you're getting 6 minutes of steps, and those are high quality steps, jogging in place. When it got really hot out here, I had to jog in place. When it rained, a lot of times when it rains, I'll still walk. My dog is a pit bull lab. She loves the rain, even though they're not from Labrador, England. I don't think. It's an American dog. She loves to get out in the water, and we'll walk in the rain. People look at us and they're like, "What are you guys doing?" They think maybe our car broke down or whatever. So those are 2 minutes of steps, 2 minutes of walking. I can get every 20 minutes. So if I have to do something online, I'm submitting for roles or I'm filling out something, some forms, whatever, applying for a job, I have to do that. Now, if I was in public, I wouldn't do that. If I was with a laptop, probably wouldn't jump up and run in place or jog in place, not run. So I do that. Other ways to get steps, I'd watch television. I don't know about you, but I like watching TV. And then I would jog for the commercials. I don't know how long the commercial could be. It could be one of those old shows that, like Perry Mason back from 1958 or whatever. And they have a lot of commercials. Some of those have a lot of commercials because those are old shows. They're not brand new programming. And so I would jog the commercials. Then sometimes I'd stand instead of sitting while watching television. It sounds really weird. Like, listen, don't come sit down. And I think because in the military, I taught shooting, and I walked a lot. And I stood in front of a class and taught. And then we went to the range and we'd shoot. We'd walk 100 yards down, 100 yards back, 100 yards down, 100 yards back to check our targets prior to actual qualification. So I got a lot of exercise that way. I got more than 10,000 steps a day, not even really trying when I was in the military. So I think that's where I learned that. But I would jog the commercials. I would jog in place, and I don't mean run, just jog, pop, 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 pop. And I would do that. So I'd walk the trail. I'd hydrate really well. I'd walk the trail. Now you're going to hear a lot of things. I know I did, and then you will too. You're going to hear things like park further away. Okay, if there's a spot right there, 2 spots away from the whatever the 7-Eleven, there's one 15 spots away. Park 15 spots away. That's going to be really, really helpful. It doesn't really get your heart rate up. It is steps, so it's something. I hate that. Yeah, well, so snip it off, sew it back up. But anyway, I don't like it. I'm gonna start wearing turtlenecks that look like I'm from the 1950s. Some old beatnik with a turtleneck. But anyway, I would get out there and I would do that and walk that, get those steps in there, and that's great. Stairs. During the gig economy, during the COVID or whatever, when we were considered heroes, I would deliver people's food to them with a mask on and my first gloves, mask, and everything. A lot of sanitizer. I always wash my hands. People always tell me, "Hey, did you lift the hamburger bun up there to see if there's mustard on my burger?" No, I did not. I use a steering wheel. I always wash my hands after visiting the restroom. It's not just using the restroom. If you check your hair or you go in there, put up the lipstick, you got to wash your hands. You're in the nasty bathroom, wash your hands. But I would get that. I would get that out there. So I went to the gig economy there for a while. I was working for the U.S. Census, and I was doing this. I back and forth, back and forth. As a veteran with limited skills, I had to take whatever I can get or acting. But there's always gaps there, so I filled it up with doing some gig economy work. Not always, but sometimes. And I decided that I would walk up and down the stairs. So what I would do is if the food is early, I might walk up 4 flights. But if it's 3 flights or less, if let's say the person lives on the third floor, they're in 301, I would go up the stairs. Because really, if I push the button for the elevator, wait for the elevator, get in the elevator, ride the elevator, get out of the elevator, I can actually be at the door faster if I take the stairs. Now, some of these buildings are pretty scary. I can't find the stairs. They'll say, if there's a fire, take the stairs. I can't find them. So if I lived there, I'm sure I would know where they were. But if you're visiting someone and there's a fire, I don't know where the stairs are. Oftentimes I can't find the stairs. I open the door, there's a trash chute, whether there's the laundry room or there's the whatever room. The doors will open, but it's not what I'm looking for. But if it's 3 flights of stairs or lower, I always take the stairs up and back. Okay. If it's 4 flights and I'm early, I'll take it. If it's 5 flights, I'll take it. If it's 7 flights, maybe not. There are times when I don't have an order after I take my after I drop the food off, then I can do whatever I want. It's my time. I log back in, I go wait for my next order. I can go down 7 flights of stairs, 8 flights of stairs if I take the elevator up. It's not as good going down steps as it is going up. And you'll see that on all these tracking devices will tell you if you went up the stairs or down the stairs. So I do that as a way to get some extra exercise. As a diabetic, one problem we do have is circulation. So they tell you to kind of like take your feet and lean on your toes, and then lean back on your heels and lean on your toes and lean back heels. I found that if I just hold onto the rail and I'm on the bottom step, whatever, I can do that a little bit too, and I can work my legs. So those are ways I get those extra steps. I walk through. I walk on the commercials every 2 minutes. When I'm on the computer, I've been on now 24 minutes and 58 seconds on this. I should be doing that, but this is an exception because I'm making this video. And I do that. I go up the stairs, and that's how I get my exercise. I do like riding bicycles. A great motivation for me is dogs, because dogs have to walk. Indoor dogs always have to go out to go potty, and those are good steps. Sometimes they stop and they're checking their pee mail everywhere, so you go, come on, let's go, let's walk. But taking a dog and walking 5 miles a day, that's really, really good for me. So for me, the exercises that I do are always going to be some form of cardio. I mean, I do some toning. Like I do something about my neck, like gross. But I do try to tone my arms, do a little bit of toning. I can do that as well, but not instead. There's a lot of things that they tell you to do. Now you're going to get a lot of discouraging things. We're going to tell you, come on, just you don't need to do that. Walk around the block. Oh, you exercised yesterday. You're going to get a lot of that because people out there didn't think I could do it. They didn't think I could, and it doesn't matter what they think. So I think I can. So what they do is they'll tell you, oh, come on, you don't need to do that. What did the doctor say? Well, if I listen to what the doctor said, they said to walk 5,000 steps three times a week. I get more than that in a day. Quite often, I'll get more than that in a day. Now, if I mess up, I mess up. If there's a day that I'm watching football, this is a lot that I'll forget. Oh, I forgot, I gotta get up, and boom, 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 boom. During a commercial, that last commercial break, I just drank water and sat. I exercise, I hydrate even if I don't know if I'm gonna go exercise, because I don't want an opportunity to exercise to go by because I didn't hydrate. So I hydrate, 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 hydrate. All day long I'm drinking water. I don't have like a big bottle next to me where I'm trying to get whatever. They always say drink eight glasses of eight glasses of water a day. So they don't even know where that came from. People say, where did they come from? Some doctor probably said, another doctor, and they don't even know where they came from. So just hydrate. They say by the time you're thirsty, it's too late. So if I hydrate all day, I'm ready to exercise. If someone calls up and says, hey, you want to go for a walk, or do you want to do this, or there's a street fair, and you can walk up and down 5 or 6 blocks. Maybe I want to do that, but I want to be hydrated and ready to go. So if I mess up, or if you mess up, don't worry about it. It's going to happen. Don't rely on others. Don't rely on others. You got to rely on yourself. I mean, I know I did. People think oh, you can't eat that. You're on a diet. Yes, I can. I can eat it physically. Should I? No. Hey, or they'll tell you, you're never going to lose weight. I don't see it. I don't see it. Well, yeah, okay, it's gradual. I didn't put on all that weight in one day, and I'm not going to take it off in one day. I have to do what I have to do. For me, it was the cardio, the aerobic exercises. I guess they said back in living in John, let's get physical. But I don't go to a dance class. I just have to do it my own way. So for me, it's riding a bicycle, walking, 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 walking. The number one most important exercise they say is to walk. Yet they want you to not walk if you're sick. So it's kind of like, when do you decide, I got to take this? I told the doctor, I got to take this over. I'm going to ask you for your advice, but I'm going to take this over. The decisions are mine. So it's exercise, hydrating, exercising, and for me, it's trying to get 10,000 steps a day minimum, which would really it's going to be 12,000 steps or so. When I check the phone, I should have 12,000 by the time I go to bed, and then I know I probably got 10,000 steps in. And if I mess up, I mess up. People are going to tell you, and they told me, you say, hey, I lost 8 pounds. Oh, that's great. You must feel great. No, I don't. I'm 150, 140 pounds overweight. No, I don't feel great about 8 pounds, but I know I'm doing something. So you can't rely on others. So I couldn't rely on others to tell me, number one, what to do, and number two, to kind of check me off a list as I went along. It's not up to them, it's up to me. And so first thing, number one for me, was motivation, get motivated to get out there. This is after I got out of the hospital. So when I got out of the hospital, I was not allowed to exercise. So it's motivation. The things I knew I could do, I can motivate. I can work on what supplements I take, and I can work on my diet a little bit. So then when I was able to exercise, this is what I did. For me, 10,000 steps a day. 7 days a week is my goal. No, do I get it all the time? No. Sometimes I'll get 25,000 steps in one day, but it doesn't mean the next day I don't do anything. You got to keep mobile. Like they're saying now, that sitting Sitting, what I'm doing right now. Sitting is the new smoking. It's so bad for us just to sit. Now that's what they are saying on TV and news stories, and Doctor so and so, whatever, will say that on TV. Is it true for you? 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 I don't know. Is it true for me? Probably. It's pretty bad. So anyway, thank you so much. Video number 6 will be out, I think, next week. And that's going to actually show you some of the places that I go to exercise, how I'm able to sneak in those steps. You know, the running in place every 20 minutes, that's pretty much nothing. You don't really need to see that because I just go like this. But I'll go out to the trail and I'll show you some ways that I'm able to get that little exercise. Also, I walk fast. I don't know about you. You got your own thing. But when I go places, I walk briskly. Like I went to the grocery store, I grab hold of the cart, and I'm walking really, really fast. And I get lost in the grocery store, and I get extra steps that way too. But I do go out there and I walk fast. People say, "Oh, you're in a really hurry." I say, "No, I'm just trying to get some good quality steps in." So that's what I do. Hydrate and walk and cardio exercising. If you have any questions, please put them down there. Also, please subscribe. Please subscribe. That really helps us a lot. If you subscribe, if you like, if you share the video. People were asking me to come to their house and teach them how to do this, and go to the grocery store with them, show them what I ate, take them out on the trail, show them where I walked, show them how they want me to do this, like a full-time job kind of thing. People say, "Hey, come on over and stay at my house for 5 days and get me going." Can't do it. I can't do it because number one, I don't know what works for you. Will this stuff I did work for you? And also, how do I motivate you to keep doing it? You know, if I get you to do it one time, are you going to do it 8 times? Are you going to do it 20 times? Are you going to do it daily? I don't know. And also, what I'm telling you to do might be completely wrong. So once again, talk to your doctors, especially on this one. You got to talk to your doctors about exercising. If your doctor tells you, "I don't want you walking at all. I want you to, walk in place for 5 minutes a day," then that's what you got to do. But for me, it was 10,000 steps a day. That was the golden ticket, I guess. I got the golden buzzer, and I was able to do this with that program. Only if I only walked and I controlled my diet, I would have lost weight, but not as much as I did. So it's hard. It's hard, and don't be discouraged. If you mess up, don't be discouraged. Because oh no, I ruined my diet. I had a piece of birthday cake at my friend's birthday party. No, you didn't. You had a piece of birthday cake at your friend's birthday party. Yeah, that's how I do. I kind of look at it. Like when I watch these TVs, they say this is based on a true story. Like last night we watched Dog, and I go, wow. I think the only thing true about this is there was a dog, and people were in the military. And that's about it. It was really, really fake. It was good. I mean, it was interesting. It was entertaining, but it was really, really, really fake. Any of you that have been in the military, or even not in the military, that's no way that any of that stuff happened. It was just all. There was a story about a guy and a dog, and the rest was all made up. And that's what happens. So if you mess up and people say, "Oh no, that's it, you're done. Oh boy, you can't mess up. You did bad." If you just emotionally or whatever, and you don't do this for 2 weeks, well, on the third week, when that third week starts, start again, I guess. So for me, that's what I had to do. I messed up some, and other times I'm really excited. Like I'll get out, I'll walk, and I'll come home, and I go, "Wow, I just walked 14,000 steps, and I didn't even feel it." When I first started this, I could barely walk up a flight of stairs. I'd be pulling myself on the handrail to go up a flight of steps. Now I can easily, if I wanted to, jog up 6 flights of stairs. I don't. I walk just at a brisk pace up those 6 flights of stairs, but I can do it now. But at first I couldn't. I remember when I was telling you in earlier videos, if you listen to earlier videos, I used to have to grab hold of the car, the frame of the car, and lift myself up. I would push myself up off of the table. If I sat on the floor, I go, "How am I going to get up?" Because I always have a seat. Because I would sit on the curb or something. No, I had to stand because I knew I wouldn't be able to get myself up. Now I can. So anyway, for me, it's 10,000 steps, lots of hydration. I don't know what's for you. Don't get discouraged if you mess up. If you mess up, don't get discouraged. We get so upset if we mess up, but we don't really get excited about doing something right. And everybody tells me, "Hey, great job on losing all that weight, David. You lost right now it's about 112 pounds, 115 pounds. You're doing great. You're doing great." But they weren't telling me I was doing bad when I was heavy. We just consider ourselves, I guess, a fit, skinny person. I'm not skinny. I'm not saying that, but in the United States, we look at influencers, and it's a 19-year-old girl holding some lipstick. I'll never look like that 19-year-old girl holding lipstick. But they make millions and millions of dollars being influencers because that's what we think we should be. I'll never be that. Y'all never be that guy in the swimsuit catalog. Not going to happen. So no one was telling me how horrible I was doing. I'm sure they were thinking it, but they weren't really telling me, "Hey man, you got to do something." Some people did, but very rare. But they want to applaud you for doing your improvement to get your, and how they do it because you're healthier or because you look better. And I don't care about a lot of this. So I don't like this. It's because I lost a lot of weight and I got to get rid of that. But yeah, there's things that I need to do and want to do, and I want to maybe look better. But it's for health. The number one numbers I look at are my labs. You know, are my labs, not my lab dog who's out in the backyard being naughty, but my labs, my blood work, it's like something in your urine gets in there and it's no good, and this and my cholesterol and my blood pressure and my blood sugars. Those are the numbers I look at. The scale, yeah, I look at that. There's some programs where they take you weigh yourself every day, 2 or 3 times a day. I try to weigh myself like maybe once, 2 or 3 times a week. It's good for me, and maybe I can just do it once a week. And if I don't do it for 2 weeks, it's fine because I know when I put on weight, and I know when I lose weight, just how much. So anyway, best of luck to you. Remember to subscribe. The next video coming soon is number 6. I'm actually going to go outside and show you some of the places I exercise, how I do, and all of that. Thank you very much. Have a great day. Good luck with your journey, and I'm going to continue working on my journey. So please subscribe. And also, I'm going to put this on my playlist. I have one playlist which is all the videos on my channel. I may make a secondary one and only cover the ones in the series because this is number 5 and number 6 is coming soon. Thank you so much. Have a great day.